And at least knowing the history of these players, Daniel has been just a phenomenal player in just maximizing your plays as you go throughout the match.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Connor, we've been mentioning his name quite a few times before, but the former biggest regional winner ever in Arlington, and he knows how to play that Lugia mirror match.
Connor is an incredible player, and he normally stays, you know, within the box, finds the right deck, and then plays it perfectly and optimally and all that. And Daniel he's kind of taken a different path. We've seen that his testing group is not afraid to play some wacky stuff, and they've been doing that for years now. And finally goes to this tamed version of Lugia, and maybe we'll just see the true talent speak for itself now.
If you can't beat him, join him, and that's what we're gonna see here today. Round 9 starting it off, Kyle. Let's get hyped.
Woo! Yeah, this is a pretty lovely start with the capture energy in the hand for the Lugia, but what else is going on there? I'm actually going to play it a little slower here with the V-Guard. Now I'm starting to get a little worried about the rest of the hands.
Yeah, looking at that, another Lugia V-Star, just a pass of the turn, and this is, I guess, not really how you want to start it.
All right, I'm kind of worried for both these players now. Yeah, I think I see the Ultra Ball in the hand there for Connor, but awkward discard situation here, and it ultimately probably leads to Luminion if this Oranguru doesn't help out soon.
All right, well, anything you can do, I can do better. V-Guard energy off the top of the deck. Could just see it attached to that Lugia. In those prizes in the very beginning of this match, we saw 2 capture energy for Connor's side of things. It's going to be pretty rough, at least just for this opening turn. You want to see a lot of those, right?
Yeah, absolutely. To find those early on is beneficial. Also, in the mid game, we've seen that it's been kind of impactful too. Just finding the right attacker at the right time, especially in this matchup. Single prize Pokemon, when you have the energies to go with it, is exactly what you need.
This Ultra Ball discards the Manaphy and that Heat Fire energy. Connor finds what looks to be... Did he grab anything off that?
you know, to be decided.
Looking about, eyeing down that Luminion V from Crown Zenith. Such a beautiful artwork.
Oh yeah, you know, we love a good fish, and this is definitely a good one. Gonna go for the Marnie here, which certainly makes sense given that there's some resources in the hand that you don't want to exactly lose forever. And maybe this will be welcomed for Daniel, as he didn't really have too much going. I think there was Luminion and, of course, Lugia V-Star in the hand. But if you don't have the Archeops, what are you doing?
Yeah, why bench it down for a supporter that you can't use to get Marnie away anyway? Connor drawing 5 off of these. Wow.
Wow.
A little taken aback by Daniel's hand because that is double Archeops Ultra Ball. But
yeah. Yep.
Connor here has the 5 cards, not playing anything else, just passes back. And another Aurora off of the top for Daniel here. Not what you want to see. You will be able to get the Lugia out, but if you...
There's a decision to make here, because the evolution in sense, you would think that you'd go for the Archeops, and then you'd go ahead and throw those both away. You'd have the Lugia, and it'd work out fine and dandy. But you could just go for the single Archeops game here. Use that other for a Luminion. You find the Gust effect for the Lugia, and your opponent's not going to have Summoning Star next turn.
Now, let's see. With the math with the V-Guard energy, you have 250 HP, so you would need 2 powerful energies. Yeah,
I think we could search that out. There's a pretty good
will
card in that deck.
Well, so the hand is 2 Aurora energy. Is there enough just cards in general?
That would be something we need to look for too then.
Now Daniel just opts for that second Archeops here, and we're going to see the Ultra Ball discard both of them. And now you still have another decision. Do you get that Lugia V-Star or do you get that Luminion?
Yep, with the Aurora energies, that's kind of awkward. I think you have to just go and find cards. Yeah, that's another great point too. Do you try to preserve these resources here as you know that they're so beneficial later on? And that's a decision that Daniel's going to have to make now. It might mean that you don't find the Summoning Star. So do you get aggressive in this spot and go for the research, or do you play it with the Marnie? And yeah, he's going to think about that decision too. It's tough.
What I'm going to be looking for is those first 5 cards off this research. And if
Oh,
there was
if
a
they were
Lugia
enough?
V-Star, yeah, if it was enough.
It's got to be number 6. That's what you tell yourself as you lose these Auroras forever.
And there is that Professor's Research in hand going to be played.
I almost think you want to throw it on Luminion. Maybe you can get it back later.
Honestly, yeah.
Hey, yeah, Daniel's thinking about it too. It is tricky. But yeah, I think this is at least one way that you could preserve this resource. Maybe find it for one of these Pokemon later down the road, like that Raikou.
Well, there is that Professor's Research. No high five for Daniel here.
Unlucky.
All right, wasn't the first 5 cards, it was the 7th card.
Yep. All right. Well done. You drew all your powerful energies, but hey, you got a knockout on an Oranguru, so that's a win.
Is there any avenue to trying to take the knockout with Luminion?
You could.
You'd waste a lot of energies.
Yeah, and I think we've already seen a couple of those down. It's pretty unfortunate at this stage. Lugia with the V-Guard energy does feel relatively safe at this point. Your opponent hasn't played any Archeops into their discard pile too. They're on a hand that was Marnied, so I think there's merits to keeping the Lugia around. I'm not too scared of this Pokemon being knocked out.
Well, this is the first Primal Turbo from Daniel here. Was eyeing down that double Turbo energy. Maybe powerful to go along with it.
Yeah. The rest of the powerful energies are in the hand here, which is not where you want to have those.
Not as powerful, as you might say.
No.
Second Primal Turbo. Gonna charge up that Luminion, most likely. And there you see one of the differences in the list in that Wash Water Energy being able to prevent effects on the water Pokemon that's attached to. Kind of a nod for Sableye in the Lost Box matchups with your Manaphy.
Yeah, not just for Ice Cues anymore.
Oh, he is retreating.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, this is a way to cash in right now on the fact that you already have a Pokemon that can be knocked out and you can remove this V Pokemon from play, which is so crucial in the mirror match. And this is, I guess this is the best of both worlds here, as we weren't worried about the Lugia being knocked out in this situation. So go ahead, get those energies shuffled back in. You'll have those for later. 1V Pokemon down, and Lugia definitely looks like it could stick around a turn unless Connor finds everything.
This is step 1.
Oh.
Finds the first Archeops with Evolution Incense. You have the Ultra Ball to discard it or the Quick Ball, but sequencing always matters. You want to discard the cards first with Ultra Ball, grab that other Archeops, and then discard that later.
The rest of the hand, we see the Quick Ball, so it's going to have to be Luminion number 2. And it's listed as a different Pokemon on this list, so I don't think it's going to be as shiny and cool.
Listen, set just came out. You got to give him a little bit of time.
I understand, you know. Yep, it's resources are tough to come by. It's not like he works at a store or anything.
Or won $5,000.
Yeah, I think Connor's been having a pretty good season here. It's led him to this art of the Luminion, which is just as snazzy, I suppose. And Professor's Research can be added now. So this is one we've seen both players struggling with the resources, I guess you could say here, as we've been moving on the early stages of this game. But looks like Connor could definitely get something going here.
Professor's Research discards the Raikou from hand. 7 brand new cards. We'll need to find the Lugia V-Star as well. And from there, we'll
discarding
Choice
effect.
Belt.
Little off the screen action with that discard pile.
It's okay. I remember everything.
Good.
It's fine. There's 2 Archeops in there.
I'm gonna need some help. Thank you.
Summoning a star here for Connor Finton. I feel like he said that ability a lot throughout this season so far.
Usually to victory as well, and looks like gonna be doing that once more, at least for these prize cards. The powerful energies coming down here. He said the belt was in hand. That's gonna negate the effects of that V-Guard.
Do we see the last powerful energy? Or no, we don't need it.
Yeah, you don't need it. You're good. This is gonna be a perfect knockout. Archeop's gonna look once more to see if it has anything it wants to donate to these Luminion. I don't know.
All the capture energies are in the prizes.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we'll just keep an Aurora energy handy, I suppose, or who knows at this point. I think with the Raikou down in the discard pile, you're not going to be as attached to those special energies.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see it hang out there for now.
And honestly, this turn has been a pretty stellar for Connor here, having the knockout on that Lugia V-Star through the V-Guard energy. And it's going to be up to Daniel. You got that knockout on the Rangaroo. What else can you start doing now?
Well, I think the world's upside down for Daniel at this point because I definitely thought that Lugia was going to stick around. Your opponent was on a Marnied hand, and this happened. Like this is pretty absurd to look at now. There were no Archeops in the discard pile, and so it's gotta come back from this. And there's a V-Guard energy on the Lugia too. So and finding knockouts in this stage, it's basically going to be Amazing Rare Evital at this point.
And taking a quick look. There is the Raikou on Daniel's side of things as well. But you're already down one of the Aurora energies.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how this even happens. And I think Birdkeeper could be a beneficial card here just because the resources to retreat and get 5 energies down in a turn sounds awful. And that's
but then you
don't
you don't have the attacker on the bench, right?
You do need the Pokemon, yeah, which
I think there's a quick ball, yeah.
Yes, so that would help out there a lot. Yeah, Lumineon has been the MVP so far for both of these players, finding the exact resources needed at the right time.
Quick ball discards the Manaphy for Daniel here. Going to find, what do we say, Yveltal, yeah?
That's kind of where I'm leaning at this stage. You have to remove this Pokemon from play. It is an absolute nuisance. And you can see that Connor was kind of understanding that that was basically the only option here and decided to already commit that energy to the Lumineon. So really a intricate battle back and forth here.
Yeah, and this is where you kind of hope you can save your V-Guard energy for the Yveltal, but it really never really comes out that way. You are just so taxed on all your energies. 5 energies to use Amazing Destruction. You're able to get there with Primal Turbo, but it really does pull on your resources a lot.
Yeah, I think the double turbos were used earlier.
Yeah, 1 to retreat.
Yeah, so just having to actually use both Archeops and the attachment for the turn. 5 energies.
It's going to be a powerful too, right?
It is tough. Yeah, we'll see what the last one in the hand was, and it looks like it's also 3 powerfuls.
Yeah, you like my hand of 3 powerful energy Birdkeeper?
It is
because I don't.
Yeah, I'll let you have it. Please Marnie me. This is atrocious. Well, maybe we'll see a Stoutland later or something. Maybe we can get these energies shuffled back in or something at some point.
I like your enthusiasm, Kyle. Now, with the 5th energy dropping down for the turn on that Yveltal, we'll be able to take the knockout thanks to Amazing Destruction. Just knock out your opponent's active Pokemon. Pretty good.
Yep. Looks like some thinning could be done here. A couple Evolution Incense along with an Ultra Ball are in the hand.
Don't want to draw those.
It's just a good time to get these cards moving and maybe not see them later on if your opponent does try to limit your hand or you try to do the same thing with a Marnie later on.
And no Ultra Ball just yet, just taking the knockout, and Connor rightly promotes that Lumineon V with the Aurora energy, and it has been seen as just one of the best counter attackers to the Yveltal.
Yeah, it makes so much sense against a lot of the Pokemon in this deck. When you're playing against the Radiant Charizard as well, you've got that knockout lined up. Against the Raikou also. So just using this Pokemon, removing that V from play, but you also got to use Luminous Sign. You potentially get to use another Luminous Sign too. We could see Connor use this ability 4 times this game potentially, and that's just not fair. he's got all these single prize Pokemon that are also going to do a lot of work here too. So it's a lot to come back from.
Yeah, you have that Snorlax in hand with its thumping snore. Really just clean take a knockout on Lumineon. Pretty easy.
Yep, decent hit points as well, and that could be another thing that Daniel just doesn't want to work through at this stage. Connor is going to be thinking about moving those Lumineons. He wants to make Daniel earn every single prize at this point, and rightfully so, as Daniel is down to just 3 prizes.
Snorlax hits the bench as well, so you have a pivot into if you want. And there is that Aqua return, 120 damage, and then shuffle back the Lumineon V and all cards attached to it into your deck. And it's not a may, it's a must.
I'll do it then.
Yep.
Yep. I'm not going to disobey the Lumineon. Well, this is definitely a climb, as Daniel has to find a way to knock out this Snorlax without using too many resources, and he doesn't have many resources left.
It's what we call a pickle.
Well, 2 powerful energies in the hand here. Not sure what the resource count looks like, but I'm sure we're going to see a Primal Turbo sometime soon here. Also, some options there as far as item cards.
Yeah, there's a lot of energy in the discard. The Heat Fire is gone. I believe there's 1 Aurora energy left, right?
I think it is going to go to this Radiant Charizard then. There's not much else left to do. Lumineon doesn't make too much sense. Does have that wash energy that maybe it could start to do something, but all these Pokemon don't get knocked out by that, so you have to start looking at that Combustion Blast. Going to use the wash energy there as you need 1 additional energy because of the cost of Excited Heart being a little extra at this stage. 3-3 prizes.
Not excited enough. That's basically what it is.
Yeah. Well, we'll get there.
And this
looks like we see the capture energy.
I think that's the last energy, right? And needed to retreat here. Primal Turbo. Oh no, okay. There's 1 more capture left in the deck. Maybe a powerful in hand, 2 powerful in hand. Okay. So yeah, Stoutland. we're at capture and double powerful. Archeops could maybe do something, but we're going to need to see these cards shuffled in, and they need to never come back. And yeah, I think this does make a lot of sense here. You use the boss's orders, cash in on the damage here, get the 2 prize cards, and then maybe you can work in those powerfuls on one of these 1 prize Pokemon later on. Hey, with the 3 energy left, that does mean an Archeops can get swinging in there.
All right.
And with the attaching to the Archeops 2 kind of signals that play. At least you have a pivot for next turn. And Combustion Blast taking the knockout. Daniel goes down to 1 prize card left here up against Connor.
Yep. Daniel found the double turbo, so a little more reach here now. But it's 1 tough prize card left to take. See what Connor can bring up on the other side. He needs to, of course, remove this threat, but find some hit points to hide behind as well.
Honestly, the worst thing here would be a Marnie for Connor, just because it'd shuffle all the energies in Daniel's hand back into the deck.
That's true, yeah. Daniel's kind of hoping for it at this point.
Capture energy for Connor will be the energy for turn. We'll be able to find an attacker now. Granted, you do have that Snorlax, but Lumineon is also a pretty good attacker here.
Yep. Of course, you want to clear this Radiant Charizard. It's the only big threat remaining. You can probably target down one of these V Pokemon later on with the boss's orders or Serena to get the job done next turn. It's just about putting yourself in a safe position after you take this knockout. Lumineon, great attacker in this spot, could take the knockout, and then you just need to find a lot of hit points. I might even hide behind Lugia, honestly.
I was just about to ask you, is the big body enough?
There's a Bird Keeper in hand. I think that you just go ahead, bench the Lugia, play that down. Next turn, you've got Bird Keeper, and you can keep this going. Or you play every energy that you have, and you use the boss's order or the Serena that you have potentially.
There is that Lugia V. I think Connor sees the line to victory here, or at least hoping, you know. And there's the retreat. And we've said this attack a lot so far, but Aqua Return yet again, taking the knockout. Connor's last 2 prizes, those capture energies.
It looks cool, but it is not cool. Energies are hard to come by, at least for Daniel. He's got them all stuck in his hand. 1 energy available to search out with Primal Turbo, if I remember correctly.
And
is
you
that
can
a
Primate Wisdom.
Rangaroo?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the whole reason Daniel just doesn't win right now is you got both of your Lumineon V in play.
Yep.
Cannot play that quick ball to search one out and grab a boss's orders.
All right, tough decision now. Don't draw an energy. Ultra Ball going to be added to the hand.
That's not going to do anything. Choice Belt, powerful. You're doing 190 with an Archeops.
Boss's Order is the bottom card of the deck.
Oh, gosh.
Just going to look through, and we see that capture. We see that recently placed powerful energy. And that puts Archeops up to dealing 160 with the Speed Wing. As you mentioned earlier, the belt as well could work on the Lugia.
30 damage short here for Daniel.
And this does make sense. At this stage, you're already going to lose to a Boss's Orders most likely.
Oh.
And there it is in hand. Connor's going to go ahead and take game number 1.
That was quite a back and forth game for this Lugia mirror match.
That was fun. Yeah. That was definitely 2 different ways to play it, and it wasn't really up to the players at that point. Connor did a great job of manipulating the resources and finding a way to preserve all of those energies. He would have Aurora energies until next Tuesday because of the way that he played this game. But Daniel just had to lose a bunch of resources. That Lugia fell way too early, and even though Daniel was ahead in the prize exchange early on, Connor just had all the resources to keep up.
Well, it's just the fact that Daniel's first knockout was an Oranguru. Meanwhile, Connor's first knockout was that Lugia V-Star.
Yeah, it feels so much better to remove that Pokemon, and you could see that the commitment level to take out the other Lugia once your Lugia is knocked out. It's every resource in your deck at that point. You don't have a way to remove that Pokemon unless you use the Amazing Rare Evital.
And now Daniel's not out of it yet. There are 30 minutes left, still enough to play 2 games. Granted, with the way some of these games go, it could take a while.
Yeah, I expect to see full games. I think that Lugia is one of the decks that loves seeing the +3 turns, especially in the mirror match, just because prizes can fly left and right. Boss's Orders and Serena, we've seen Luminions and Lugias fall and 4 prizes be taken very quickly. But getting to that point can take a minute every once in a while.
Aurora in the prizes for Daniel, powerful and capture in the prizes for Connor. Both of them have a Boss's Orders gone.
I think this is pretty fair. Let's go ahead and jump into game number 2 here. Daniel going to start things off with that capture. Not going for the V-Guard this time.
Sometimes it helps. Sometimes your opponent draws Choice Belt off of their Marnie. Taking a quick look at the deck to make sure you know what is prized and how many resources you have available to you. And that's really what Game 1 showed you, is just how to manage your resources in this matchup. Yeah,
we've seen countless great players at this stage do it the right way and show everybody at home exactly how it's done. It is difficult to make sure that your resources are around. We've seen it with the Lost Toolbox decks trying to get the job done, and sure enough, with Lugia, you've got to make the same decisions, and that's why we've seen cards like that Oranguru be so important. And is that the turn?
Yeah, Daniel just got that Manaphy and passed. A little bit better than the last game.
That's not saying much. Yeah.
Connor has to be loving that. Finds the first Archeops of this game with Evolution Incense. You have the Quick Ball in hand, can go find a second Lugia if you want. And granted, Daniel's hand is a little bit better.
It is good.
Yeah.
It's not perfect. It doesn't have all the Archeops follow up, but it is better than it leads on to be.
Yes. Second Lugia V for Connor there off that Quick Ball.
Yep. Do love the nod of respect of, yes, even though you only went capture energy Manaphy, I still think that you have it. And I'm still going to play a Marnie on top of that. One Lugia is never enough.
Sometimes you also just have those hands where you have a bunch of energy that you don't want to discard in hand.
Wow.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, there's access to multiple Archeops, multiple discarding, and Luminion. I think that is a winning Marnie line there.
Gonna sit quietly in hand. Just wait for next turn to come out and get that supporter.
And this works out pretty well. Just gonna go ahead and pass the turn here, with which with what looks like just 3 standard cards, but we know it's going to be a pretty nice second turn here for Connor.
Daniel does have that Lugia V-Star in hand to go along with that Luminion V, but the top deck of a Marnie might change things, but no. We're going to go research.
I was saying
all in.
This looks like a research hand, and he's stuck with a Marnie, so I don't mind using the Luminion early on here.
Probably going to play down the Charizard?
Yeah, I could definitely see merit in that. It's tough because you know that the rest of your resources basically just has to be Archeops at this stage, but that's fine too.
Well, going to need to find those as long as a way to discard them, and there's a quick ball and 1 at least. Evolution Incense to go along with it, but just the 1 way to discard.
Yeah, just looks like 1 short. Even Aurora Energy would have been a nice find there to clean it up, but not going to have that resource. And do you ever just go 1?
Not with a Snorlax in the active.
No, I'm not liking that at all.
Quick ball going to be forced to find maybe another Lugia V here. At least that's what Daniel seems to be eyeing down.
Yep.
This is just such an awkward position for the Lugia deck.
Yep. Grabbing the Lugia, doesn't necessarily want to bench it. We know about the spaces, and we're going to see it. It's a 1 Archeops game. This can be absolutely terrifying. Every turn matters, and boss's orders for Connor could be lights out potentially.
Especially down a game on your winning in round 9 for the biggest tournament of the year.
Yep. We're just going to be playing small ball too. It's the double turbo and the V-Guard trying to protect the Lugia. It means it's not really a threat to a following Lugia. It looks like Daniel's going to try to hedge the bet there with a powerful on the bench. But this could be lights out with the boss's orders.
Evolution Incense off the top as well. That will find the Lugia V-Star.
Yeah, we know the Luminion is already in hand.
That was the 1 card Connor was missing. Do you just Luminion for boss and take the KO on Archeops?
Yeah, I think you just have to target it down. It's the engine of the deck at this point. And if you leave Daniel in a situation where he just has to manually attach to all these Pokemon, I think you're going to win. Luminion's going to go ahead and search out that supporter. We see the Evolution Incense along with the Aurora Energy. Irida going to be the selection here.
That's not as cool.
That's not nearly as fun.
No, Irida is a pretty great card in a lot of these Lugia decks. Being able to find that Choice Belt has been huge.
Yep. Of course, Irida finding the other Luminion to chain those together. Looks like Connor is hungry for prize cards at this point. Going to go ahead and get down multiple Archeops there and say, you know what, eventually I just out-resource you. You've got that V-Guard energy on the Lugia. You're lined up to take the perfect knockout there. 3 powerful energies going to get the job done along with that Choice Belt. And there's no return answer because your opponent's never going to get Amazing Rare Evital out. 5 energies is impossible.
Hey, you can still get some powerful energies and a Choice Belt on your own Lugia, but that's not where you want to be.
That's a lot.
It's a lot as we see Connor do it 2 games in a row.
You know, Connor's allowed to do things differently, okay? I've seen him go undefeated. It's a little different. For now, you cannot knock out this Lugia. Until you do.
Choice Belt and those 3 powerful energies will allow Connor to take the knockout through V-Guard energy. And yet again, pretty much the same turn 2 for both of these games. Connor now 4 prizes away from going into day 2.
Boss's orders added to the hand for Connor as well. It just keeps getting better. Lugia finally back on the board after a whole half turn.
This is just not where you want to be, though, for Daniel. Gonna shuffle up after that Evolution Incense. You got that Primal Turbo, but it is your only one. That is your most precious resource right now.
You know, I don't think Daniel wants to hear this right now, but you need an energy in hand. He's been struggling with that.
Kind of the opposite of last game.
Yep. The one time that it's kind of correct. Not Primal Turbo first. You're trying to find one of those energies and
No.
can't find it.
Does he even have an attack right now?
Rangaroo is going to have to help out. Did we see the
You needed the choice
wisdom
belt,
yet?
too. Did we just see Daniel scoop here?
He's trying to figure out how this gets done. Those were not the cards that needed to be found.
Needing 2 cards off of this 1 Primate Wisdom.
Yep.
Never where you want to be. Ultra Balls discards the Lugia V-Star and another Archeops. Thin the deck out.
Yeah, all the air's out of the balloon right now. Daniel kind of understands where he's at. This is pretty disheartening to not find any of the pieces there off of that Marnie.
The Lugia plot armor that Connor has right now.
It's unreal.
Primate
See
Wisdom.
Yeah, we can at least get an energy to get things rolling. I mean, yes, you do have access to double turbo, but
How about an Ultra Ball?
doesn't feel as nice. That's going to be it. Yep. You know, it sometimes just ends up going that way, but it's going to be a clean 2-0 victory here for Connor Finton as he continues this this fairy tale this 2022-2023 season.
Yeah, going to be a little bit of a climb in day 2 for Connor, going in at just 19 match points, but you accomplished step 1. You made it there.
Yep, you got to be in the tournament to win the tournament. Yeah, we've talked about how difficult it can be, especially as a 19-pointer. You're going to be trying to aim for 35 points if you're going to be in the bubble area, probably 36 if you want to be almost guaranteed. That means that 501 could not even be enough at some points. That is terrifying.
Insane. That's insane to me.
But if a player was to go 6-0 at 19 points, would it not be Connor Finton? You can see it happening. It could definitely be a thing.
If he hits 6 Lugia again, who knows?
Ooh, yeah, yep, that's definitely potential there. But of course, congratulations to him, and a little bit unfortunate there for Finn. Just not able to get the job done. It really wasn't up to him. Just the cards just weren't there.
Did not have access to really much anything, and did the best plays possible to maximize his